fashion lovers. Welcome again to my YouTube channel. My name is Gift and I'm the creative director of Gift Shandy Couture. So in today's video, I'll be taking us through how to take an accurate body measurement. Like we all know, every beautiful outfit out there actually starts with taking an accurate body measurement. In fact, in pattern drafting, we cannot do guesswork. You can't guess. You need to have taken your measurement accurately, as you will be needing this to draft an accurate pattern which you will be transferring to your fabric. So it is only when you have drafted taken an accurate body measurement and drafted a good pattern that you can be sure of a perfect fit. Okay, so now that we have said all that, let's move straight into today's video. Okay, now to take an accurate body measurement, you need to first of all identify the true waist of your client. Why do you need to identify the true waist of your client? This is because the front length and the back length are not the same. The front length is usually longer than the back length. And why is this so? This is because of our bust. Remember, we have our bust at the front and not behind us. Except if we have anybody with that. I've never seen though. Even if you do, I think that's an abnormality, okay? But what I'm trying to say is we have our bust in front of us, that is in front of us like so, and not behind us. And that is why the front length measurement is usually longer than the back length measurement. Now, to identify the true waist, what do? You have to identify the boneless part of your waist. For some people, you may not be able to identify this at a glance. And if you find it difficult to identify your true waist, what do you need to do? You could tilt. Yes, you could tilt to one side like I did. Now, there is a part of your body that goes in. That part of your body that goes in is the boneless part of your waist, and that is your true waist. Now that you have identified that, just go ahead and tie an elastic band like I did on my mannequin. Tie an elastic band around that part of your waist, or a tape measure or anything, just to make you identify that part, and then you can go ahead and take your measurement. Another thing I like to do is to stand beside my client like so. This is because over time I have discovered that most of my clients find it very difficult, or they find it uncomfortable, yes, when people stand in front of them. Yes. So in order to avoid making your client uncomfortable, you have to stand beside them like I just did. It doesn't disrupt you from taking an accurate body measurement. Now that we have said all that, please let's move straight into today's video. First, you need to identify the highest point of your shoulder. The highest point of your shoulder, that is the part of your shoulder that is closest to your neck. Yes, you need to identify that. Yes, please do not take your measurement from this part. Take your measurement from the highest point of your shoulder. The first measurement we would like to take is the shoulder to front length measurement. Remember, I told us that the front length and the back length are not the same. So you have to place your tape measure on the highest point of your shoulder like I just did on my mannequin, and then go ahead and take from that point to where you tied the elastic band. And please, this depends on what kind of outfit, what style you're making. For example, if you're making a low waist corset dress, you want to shift this elastic band to where you want your waistline to start from, okay? Fine. But for a basic measurement, you need to identify the boneless part of your waist. And that is why I am using this part as my true waist. Now, to take the front length measurement, you have to take your tape measure and place on the highest point of your shoulder like so, and measure to where you have the elastic band like so. So for my clients, I have 17 inches, okay? 17 inches. Now that you have gotten that, the next measurement you want to take is your shoulder to your under your bust. Yes. Still placing your tape measure on the highest point of your waist. You measure all the way through like so, and take it to the under your bust. Another thing I like to do here is to shift the underwire of the bust like so. I love to shift the underwire of the bust up like so. I love to lift it up so that I will have a perfect fit around the bust area. Okay, now the next measurement you want to take is the shoulder to the bust point. Okay, some people call it bust point, some call it nipple point, some call it apex point. It does not matter. The most important thing is that you know what you're taking and why you are taking it. You know what you're doing and why you are doing it. Okay, so now shoulder to bust point, you want to identify the nipple point or the bust point or the apex point of your client. Now some clients may not like you just going trying to identify where their bust point is. You could ask them, ma, or please, where exactly is your bust point or your nipple point? When they show you that point, go ahead. Please remember we are still placing our tape measure on the highest point of our shoulder. Go ahead and measure from that point to where they have shown you as their bust point. And if you can identify it yourself, please go ahead and measure. For my client here, I have 10.5 inches. Okay. Now that you have done that, the next measurement you want to take is the bust span. What is the bust span? This is the distance between one nipple point to the next nipple point, or the distance between one bust point to the next bust point. Okay, so from where you took as the first bust point, go ahead like so and measure from there to the next bust point. Now for my clients, I have 7 inches. Okay, 7 inches. Now that you have done that, the next measurement you want to take is the shoulder to knee measurement. Shoulder to knee measurement. So I'll place my tape measure like so and take it all the way like this, all the way to the knee points. Yes, the knee point. All the way like so to the knee point. Sorry, my camera may not be able to capture this, but wherever the knee cap is, measure all the way from that point from your shoulder points to that point. And if you're also making a long gown or a floor length gown, please go ahead and measure to where you want your dress to end or the hem of the dress. And if it's a floor length, please go ahead and do that and measure. The next measurement we want to take is the circumference measurement. The circumference measurement, that is around whatever part of the body you want to measure. So the first circumference measurement you want to take is the bust circumference. Yes, the bust circumference. And how do you do this? You have to place your tape measure like so. Can you see? You have to place your tape measure like so and measure around the fullest part of the bust. The fullest part of the bust. Can you see? That is where you're going to measure. Can you see? Now, when you are taking this measurement, you have to put one tip of your finger, that is the second finger or whatever convenient finger you'll be using, in between your client and the tape measure. Why do you need to do this? You need to do this because this is how you add ease. You need to have ease around your measurement. This is how you add ease allowance to your measurement. If you don't do this, you will discover that by the time you are done making the outfit becomes too tight, and you now have an outfit that presses the bust of your client, and you don't want to make that mistake, because at the end of the day, your client will not be comfortable. I can assure you of that. So you have to put one tip of your finger in between your client and the tape measure, like I just did. Can you see? Now the next circumference measurement we want to take is the under bust circumference measurement. The under bust circumference. And how do you do this? Just the same way we did for the bust. Go ahead and measure around the under bust like so. Go ahead and measure around the under bust like so, making sure that this measurement you are taking is very, very tight. You need to take it very, very tight. In fact, it has to be very tight. I keep iterating this because it is important. Okay, and why do you need it to be very tight? You need it to be very tight because you want to have a perfect fit around that area. By the time you wear your bra or fit the dress, you're going to have a perfect fit around there. And we're going to be needing this when we are drafting our basic bodies. Okay, now that you have done this, the next circumference measurement you want to take is the waist circumference measurement. Okay, so you want to go ahead and measure around the part that you tie the elastic band. You want to go ahead and measure around the part that you tie the elastic band like so. Measure around that part, record the measurement. You also want this measurement to be tight. Okay, you want it to be tight also. So we have taken this. The next measurement or the next circumference measurement you want to take is the hip circumference measurement. However, before then, we have to take the waist to hip measurement. Okay, you have to take the waist to hip measurement. How do you take the waist to hip measurement? Now, you could ask your client to tilt this way. Can you see? Now, there is a part of the body that pops out. This part of the hip that pops out. This part of the hip that pops out is actually the hip line. When you have identified that point that pops out, go ahead and measure from where you tie the elastic band to that point. Can you see? To that point. Now, for my client, I have 8 inches. This is usually between 7 to 9 inches. Okay, it's usually between 7 to 9 inches. So I'll go ahead and measure from the point where I have the elastic band like so, all the way through to where I have the hip line. For my client, like I said before, is 8 inches. Okay, now that we have gotten that, we have to take the hip circumference measurement. The hip circumference measurement. And how do you do that? Go ahead with your tape measure like I did and measure around the widest part of the hip. Yes, the widest. Remember, for the bust, we did the fullest part of the bust, okay? So now that you have gotten the widest part of the hip, just take a look at what I'm about to do. I'm trying to drag this tape measure down, but can you see it is very difficult for me to drag it down, even though I have measured around the widest part of my hip. Now, the implication of this is if I go ahead and make an outfit for this client using this measurement, the client may not be comfortable when fitting this dress. It's going to be very tight around this hip area. Okay, so what do you do? Now, after I've taken this measurement, I discovered the measurement is 38 inches. Now, what do you do? Ensure that by the time you've taken this measurement, you can easily move your tape measure freely. So you keep reducing or you keep increasing that measurement until it gets to the point where the tape measure can easily pass through the body like so. Can you see? I do that again. Keep taking this measurement. First of all, identify the fullest part of your hip like so. Can you see? The widest part of your hip like so. Can you see? And then try to move your tape measure to that point where it will be very easy for this line to move. Now, instead of 39 inches, I'm using 39.5 inches. Can you see? So please ensure that it is very easy for your client, for the tape measure to move down the hip line of your clients. This is because they have to be comfortable in their outfit, okay? Now, after you have taken your hip circumference measurement, the next measurement you want to take is the shoulder or back measurement. Some people call it across back, some people call it back measurement, okay? So now we are going to turn to the back. And this reminds me, please, in case you have not subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. I just don't know what you're waiting for. Please subscribe and please like, share, comment, as well as turn on your notification bell so you can always be the first to get notified anytime I post a new video. Okay? Now, to the back measurements. First, you want to measure from the nape or from the highest point of your back to where you tie the elastic band. Now, if you take a look at the back, your back, there is a protruding bone here. Yes, that protruding bone around the spinal cord or the spinal line is where you are going to place the tape measure. Now, for my client here, I'm going to place my tape measure like so and measure all the way through to the back to where I have the back line, okay? I'm going to measure to where I have this elastic band, okay? Now, for this back length, I have 14 inches. Remember, for the front length, we had 17 inches. It means that the difference between the front length and the back length of my client is 3 inches. Can you see? A whole 3 inches. That 3 inches, it can go a long way in destroying your pattern if you don't know what to do with it. You're going to have, in fact, a bad outfit by the time you are done if you don't take note of this measurement. Okay, so you go ahead and measure like so all the way through to where you have the elastic band, and for me I have 14 inches here. Can you see? Now that you have taken that measurement, the next measurement you want to take is the across back measurement. Okay, the across back measurement, this is very important. So you're going to measure from one tip of the shoulder to the next tip of the shoulder. Can you see? For my clients, I have 15 inches. Though it's sometimes you may find it difficult to identify this part of the shoulder. What do? Just ask your client to do this. By the time you ask your client to do this, there is a part of the hand that goes in. That part of the hand that goes in, you're going to place your tape measure from one point like so to the next point. Please ensure that you take this measurement accurately. Okay, now that you have taken that measurement, another measurement I think we also need or will be very important to take is the arm side measurement. Arm side measurement. Now, another name for arm side is the armhole circumference measurement. So what do? Go ahead like so and measure around the armhole. Yes, measure around the armhole, making sure that it is not too tight, because if it is too tight, your clients may not be able to lift their arm properly, and you don't want to make them uncomfortable. So measure around the armhole like so and record the measurement. Then another measurement you need to take is the sleeve length measurement. So go ahead from the shoulder tip like so and measure to where you want the sleeve to end. It could be a long sleeve, it could be a 3/4 sleeve, it could be an elbow length sleeve, it could be a calf sleeve, it could be any type, in fact, any type of sleeve you want. Go ahead and measure that. The next important measurement you also want to take is your bicep circumference. The bicep is the fullest part of your arm. So you measure like so, place the tape measure around the fullest part of your client's arm or your own arm in case you're taking your own measurement, and measure around like so, making sure that it is not too tight and it is not too loose, depending on the kind of sleeve you want to make though. So go ahead like so and measure around the fullest part of your arm like I'm doing or like I just did. Now that you are done taking that, the next measurement you want to take is the elbow circumference or the elbow measurement. And when you are doing this, make sure that your client or yourself, you tilt your hand like so. Yeah, tilt your arm like so. This is to ensure a perfect fit. Remember, if you take it like this, by the time you are done making the outfit, it will be very difficult for the client to, move their arm freely in the sleeve. And you don't want it to be like that, okay? So go ahead and do this, or ask your client to tilt a bit like so, to tilt their arm like so, and take the measurement around that area, okay? The next circumference measurement you might want to take is also the wrist measurement, okay? The wrist measurement. Now, this is a wrong way. This is a wrong way to take your wrist measurement. You don't want to take your wrist measurement like this. Now, look at this. I got 6 inches for my wrist measurement. By the time I'm wearing this outfit, it's going to be very difficult for me to put my arm into this sleeve. Yes. So how do you take your sleeve or your wrist circumference measurement? This is how to take your wrist circumference measurement. Place the tape measure in between this part of the arm. Can you see? Like so, and measure around. Like so. Now, remember I got 6 inches for my wrist measurement. Now look at these 8 inches. Imagine I'm wearing an outfit that I had made with 6 inches. It will be very difficult for me to wear the outfit. In fact, very difficult. So you have to take the wrist measurements like so. This is how to take your wrist measurement, okay? Now that you have done that, another important measurement you might want to take is the cleavage measurement. What is the cleavage? Now, the cleavage is from this point of your neck to where you want, how do I explain this now? Okay, fine. There are some outfits that probably off shoulder. When you finish making the outfit, the client may be like, it's too low. It's too low. I don't like how revealing it is. So what do you need to do? Ask your client where you want their cleavage to start from. You can say, ma'am, where do you want this outfit to start from? Like, how low do you want it? Yes, that's the word. How low do you want it? So by the time your clients have identified how low they want their outfit to be, please go ahead and measure from this midpoint. Now, there is a hole in between this neck bone. Go ahead, place your tape measure like so from that point and measure to where they have identified as the point where they want their cleavage to start from. Okay, please do not guess, just ask them. So for my clients here, I'll place the tape measure like so in between the neck bones and measure. There's a midpoint here. Place your tape measure there and measure to where you want your cleavage to start from. Okay? Measure from that point to where your cleavage will start from. Your cleavage measurement is also very, very, very important. Okay? It is very important. So by the time done making the outfit, there won't be anything like it is too revealing, it is too wide, it is too, no, there won't be anything like that. So I think this measurement you have taken are the basic measurements we need to take when making an outfit. Okay, so every other style out there are actually done out of manipulating this basic measurement. If you have not taken this measurement accurately, you're going to have problem with manipulating it into any other style that you want. I hope with this video you've come to understand how to take an accurate body measurement. And please, like I said before, in case you have not subscribed to this channel, please do well to subscribe, as well as like, share, comment, and turn on your notification bell so you can always be the first to get notified every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Till we meet again, I am Gift. Have a blessed day. Bye.